What's going on, guys? Hey, Repeat here, and this is
the
FilterTime eSpark iRacing Series, hydrated by B-Water.
What's going on, guys? Hey, how are you? Repeat here with you Wednesday night. That means it's time for the FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series, hydrated by our buddies at B-Water. And now you can't not mention their brand new hemp line either. Byron in the booth with me as always for these guys. Tonight it's all about New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the Magic Mile. Byron, what are you thinking about this place? It's from what we've seen so far out of practice, it's going to be fast, it's going to be slick. A lot of these guys have had a little bit of an issue keeping the car under them. How you doing, sir?
Man, Pete, I'm awesome. Watching these guys going around, like you said, Magic Mile, anything can happen with how short of a track it is. We don't want something like Martinsville to happen. I don't think it will with it being just a tad bit bigger. But right now, watching everybody running around, they're playing nice, clean, and conservative, just trying to get laps down, trying to fully understand the track.
Yeah, fully understand the track. And, there's been people that have tried to go out there for really long runs, and there are people that have gone out there for short runs just to see how hard they can push it in the beginning, only to find out that their longer runs are even looser sometimes than anything else. They might get a little tight in the center, but other than that, these cars are going to be a handful. Just a week or so ago, we were at Martinsville, the very, very short paperclip. This just kind of in an extended Martinsville, very flat. Just as I say that, we're watching the 25 of Dakota Long lose it coming off the corner, trying to be a little aggressive. I hope we don't see a whole lot of that tonight. These guys only have just about, actually, practice is done. Qualifying is about to kick off. In the fastest in practice there, it was James Holzer with Tom Flitcroft, old Tom Flitty right behind him, Maxwell Castro, Jordan Bain, and Josh Parker. So we're going to see here who's going to be able to get it done in qualifying. We'll try to keep up with everybody as they come out. So far, looks like Sam Morris is going to be one of the first ones to come out in this number 94. So we're going to jump on board with him and see how he can do.
Yeah, obviously everybody trying to qualify up above top dog James Holzer after the domination he's had so far in this series. But the one thing about New Hampshire, you start up high, you come out of those corners very, very low trying to get your runoff, especially for lap one. Just like the 94 starting to get loose. We'll have to see how this one turns out.
Yeah, just came across the start stripe. So this one, he's going to try to maybe get a little bit quicker with it. I don't think he's going to have all that much heat built up into the tires just yet. So it's really just about maintaining. And since he was the first one out, he should be the first one across the line. We'll see how he does right here. Coming off of 3 and 4, little loose, little tail happy. Let it wash all the way out to the line. And as he comes across, it looks like we're looking at, actually, J-Mac was the first one across before he did. And Morris just a mere 0.2 behind him. And then it looks like Maxwell Castro's out there on track. How about our buddy John Honeycutt? It doesn't look like he's done anything yet. Here he is. He's going to go ahead and get it up to speed in that high-tech securities number 50 Chevy Camaro.
Good old Honeycutt. Yeah, we were talking with him earlier just before the race kicked off, and he said he's hoping to play calm, cool, and conservative throughout this one. We'll have to see how that sort of transpires, especially through qualifying, how much he's really thinking about pushing the car as here he comes for his first laps.
Yep, across the New Hampshire start stripe right there, down in a 1 and 2. You can see him really getting on the brakes. See the flames kicking out the side of the exhaust. It looks like he's kind of diamonding out that corner just a little bit. Let it wash up towards the wall. Little tail happy all the way down this, we might as well say quarter mile backstretch, considering the entire track is only 1 mile long through 3 and 4, letting it slide out just a little bit, back on the throttle, all the way up against the wall, tagged the wall just a little. It didn't look like there was too much damage there. His first lap looks like, let's see.
His first lap will not be scored because he did tag the wall.
Wow. Somebody's got some. I'm guessing maybe there's strict settings, or I don't know. But that's definitely kind of weird.
Yeah, it's been weird because iRacing's been like that. If you tag the wall just a little, they go ahead and don't count your laps at all. Speaking of laps, Jordan Bain just threw down a hot one, 30.73. That's going to put him all the way up to the top dog position. But yeah, you tag that thing just a tad, and they say, you know what, never mind, that lap does not count for you. Very unfortunate for Honeycutt on that first one. Second one, though, he is able to get it up to P7.
Yeah, not too bad for Jordan Bain. He's gonna try to get a little bit more out of it. Way to lock it down. Didn't hit anything, so he won't be starting the race with any kind of incident points. Here now is the number 5 of Brendan Book in this Target Camaro. He's back to the white car with the very, very familiar bullseye on the hood. Off of 1 and 2, he's going to try to save it as well. Good job by him. A little bit of counter steer. Tried to stay in the gas down the rest of the backstretch. Way up high in 3 and 4. He's going to try to get a good launch off the corner. Maybe set this as a flyer. Let's keep it right here. With that slide, no surprise, Brendan Book all the way in the back through 1 and 2, a whole lot better of a line this time. Stayed on the gas, wash up towards the wall, no rear end, sliding around that time. So as he goes into 3 and 4, again, getting into about that third groove, diamond it out. Little bit of, I'm not sure if that's a little bit of PJ1 up there as NASCAR would go, but the second lap for Brendan Book right now is showing to be P4. Good job. Good recovery.
Yeah, it looked like that first one was going to have little to no help for him. But here comes the 77 of Tyler Dohar, obviously one of the founders of eSpark, now going to take his laps around the track. And in the 77, 1 down, 1 to go as he is trying to come in. Didn't get it in time. Man, some of these guys love going very late in the qualifying and don't get their second lap in just in time.
Yep. So great job by everybody. And we'll have to see how that all settles out here in just a moment. But definitely want to welcome everybody to this FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series, hydrated by B-Water race live from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Again, I'm Repeat with the young and impressive Byron Jones, also known as AZ Yotes King from back in the day. They're going to get a couple minutes to reacclimate themselves under race settings rather than Q. And Byron, we saw Bain set a pretty fast lap. Of the people we were able to follow, people that you followed, not only on stream, anybody kind of catch your eye? I didn't see, before you answer, I didn't see the 17 go out to take a lap.
No, I didn't see him either. Actually, the 17, I don't think I saw James come out at all and take a lap, which is kind of interesting. Last week he did that, and he started in the back, found his way up towards the front at the end of the race. Could that potentially be something he's trying to line up again, saying, hey, maybe if I can pass the most amount of cars, it's the best way to go at it? But I don't know. At a track like this, I think you want to be up in the front or up in the back, because mid-part, if it does get a little bit squirrely, especially on fresh tires, a lot of guys are going to loop it out of one.
Yeah. Swat's out there in chat saying, what's up, Pete? Good luck to the drivers tonight. Good luck, Byron. Justin Mon saying, I was just 10 feet from the line when the Q session ended. Oof. So, yeah, man, I feel you. And I imagine old Mr. Dohar wasn't too happy that he ran out of time also.
Yeah, sometimes I think when they sort of hang back and try to wait for the time, track slowly starts to cool down, which means time's starting to go over. And one thing I was thinking about time, that could be a huge factor if these guys, I don't know if they did set it right or not, but sometimes you do. and you find yourself almost night racing. I don't think that's going to be the case with these guys, but I've seen multiple leagues where guys have not paid the light bills and they don't turn on later on in the race. I don't think that's going to be a situation for Hampshire, but if it does, and guys sort of notice that, they're going to start scrambling for the front, especially with how long this race is tonight.
Absolutely. We got about a good old 2 minutes. We saw Bane on his flyer. I don't think I saw anybody go ahead and pass him for the pole. What do you say we pull old Boehner up to the booth and talk to him real quick about his lap?
Oh, why not? Let's go chat with him.
There we go. Jordan Boehner, driver of the number 28 B-Water B-Fast iRacing Xfinity car. Boehner, it is Pete and Byron up in the booth, buddy. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up, boys?
Well, man, we saw you go on out and throw down a flyer. Really looks like you were able to get that thing to hook. And then on your second lap, you might have tried to get a little bit more out of it, but what you had was enough. In all of your practice times, we saw you turn quite a few laps. What are you expecting out of that Mustang tonight, sir?
Never ran a lap in New Hampshire until today, so I really don't know what to expect. Felt like I did a good job figuring out how to hit a qualifying lap, and I just really nailed that first one. I really shouldn't have even attempted a second one. I probably just messed up my tires there since they carry over from qualifying to the race, so not excited about that now that I've slid them, but we'll see how it goes, man. I'm just going to try to keep track position, but at the same time, not drive the crud out of the tires. We only have 3 sets here, so I'm going to try to go my pace and try to keep it out front, but don't be surprised if I let some guys go here early either.
Well, buddy, you know that both Byron and I will be pulling for you. We'll go ahead and get you back. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Pete. You guys have fun.
Yep, take it easy, man. All right, so we got Boehner back where he needed to be. As you can see, the pace laps are underway. We're going to go ahead and bring you back up with Jordan Boehner in that number 28 B-Water B-Fast Xfinity car. To his outside is going to be Tristan Helf in this Barbasol Mustang. So a couple of Fords on the front row. And then you're going to have Jacob Kerr in that number 11. Brendan Book in that number 5, very familiar Target car. And then we got the 5, but we are going green. Jordan Boehner hard on the throttle, across the start stripe. Lap 1 here, buddy, out of 130 from New Hampshire tonight.
Guys now got the choice of being patient or being aggressive early on in this race. The 11 of Jacob Kerr already making a move to the inside up to P number 2, trying to track down that 28 after a great jump he had. Slowly starting to fan out throughout the entire field. Guys slowly starting to go one wide as everybody gets around. Crash already.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looked like we saw the 25 of Dakota Long get a little slideways and ended up coming across somebody's hood, then back up into the outside wall. We're actually going to go ahead and jump on board with Dakota and see exactly what he was seeing, what he was feeling. I think we're going to see those tires slide out from under him pretty quick. Let's go ahead and find him right now, and let's go ahead and kick that off. Getting into 3 and 4, just behind the 27. Got a little tap from the back from the 37, and that sent him. There's no recovery. These cars are already loose. Sent him back up into the outside wall, and that's all she wrote for Dakota Long. But he doesn't have a whole lot of damage, at least not from this angle. Let's actually go ahead and take a look from this way. Yeah, okay, so that the entire front end of this K9 car is tore up, no bumper. Atlanta Racing, good to see you out there, buddy. Hope all is well. And Commando Grip says, Pete, how about your co-broadcaster picking up that first career win last night? Absolutely went back and watched Rick James' stream this morning. Hell of a job, Byron. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. That was a blast out there, but you know, at the end of the day, it's racing. You got to enjoy it no matter which side you're on, down on the track or up in the booth. I know you've had that. You've got experience of both sides, being down on that track, being up in the booth. It's a blast either way, and it was a little bit of luck too, but I did get some help from the man in the lead right now The 28 of Jordan Bain looks like he's getting some help out from himself, being able to keep it up, still within the lead, under caution, being able to keep it away from that 11 very early on.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that I hear most often from any post-race interview we get from the leader is they always talk about clean air. Well, right now, Bain, he's got the clean air all over the front of that Mustang, and same thing with Kerr. And Kerr is he's gonna have a little bit of help as well. He's gonna be up on that high side. He can drift up, try to diamond out the corner, get a little bit more grip. It looks like there might be some sticky stuff up there, and then, you know, try to really rock it off of the corner. It looks like the lights on this Mustang pace car are out. Everybody is double file. Next time through, we'll go through the field a little bit more, show you some of these drivers, show you their paint schemes. But man, what an interesting start. Caution number 1 within the first 4 or 5 laps. We talked about Martinsville earlier. We're not looking for a repeat of that. We want to see some great long green flag racing. Jordan Bain's going to go ahead and try to lead him to that as he comes across the commitment line. Here we go one more time. Boehner very quick on the loud pedal. As soon as the pace car went across the commitment line, he stabbed the gas. And now we got a good old battle between the 38 of Tristan Helf and Jake Kerr right behind him, side by side.
Yeah, these two are going to go side by side along the side. The 5 of Brendan Book sort of stalking these two, waiting to see what happens there. And then the 8 of Thomas Flitcroft giving a little bit of help to that 5. Going to drop up just a bit to that outside lane. Now the 38 going to take advantage while the 8 is currently in a battle with the 16.
Absolutely. 16 diving down low, trying to keep it down, a little bit on the brake. If it was just a little bit darker right now, Byron, we would absolutely see these rotors glowing. Down the backstretch, Jordan Bain still in the lead. The 38 now of Tristan Helfo, I think he actually showed up a little bit later. But you see him right now in P2, the 11 up high. Here comes the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, old Tom Flitty, underneath the 5 of Brendan Book. He's going to try to get the 11 maybe through the center of this corner. It absolutely looks like he's rolling that corner really well. This could be a very good night for Tom.
Yeah, Tom, one of those guys we don't usually talk about, but he is sort of there within the mix of everybody. We mention him every now and then saying, hey, look at the position he's running. He's sort of up there, consistent, constantly. Well, look at this. Now he's looking for a battle on the inside of that 11, trying to get everything he can. But it's seeming like right now that outside lane just has a ton of speed coming off corner exit.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was talking about at the restart. I thought the 11 would have a little bit more grip up there as he tries to diamond out the corner and really rock it off the exit, as we're now seeing quite a few cars all single file up along the wall. But right behind the leader, the 8 and the 11 trying to figure out a way past this 38, as now the 16 and the 5 are stalking them. Only the 27 of Maxwell Castro is by himself, and just behind him, it's going to be Pete Rogertheim.
There you go. I think Pete Rockin. Okay, now I'm seeing what you're talking about. Peter Rothenstein? Okay. That's just a tad bit confusing, right? But yeah, guys now still starting the single file out, like he said. They're slowly starting to get a hang of the track, saying, hey, okay, I'm going to ride with what I can. The 16 and 5 were battling just a little bit ago over who could be the super target and who's just a regular target. But now here comes the 8 on the inside over the 38, trying to get everything he can. Once again, that outside lane just still seems to be that dominant lane until tires start coming into effect a little bit later into this race. 10 laps. I don't think it's going to affect it too much, but the 8 trying to slide up on the 38.
Yeah, and Jordan Bain's really got to love all the action that he sees in his rear view, because the more they stay side by side, the further away he's able to go. He's got the clean air, while the guys on the bottom, as it looks, they're going to go 3 wide with Tristan. Maybe nope, the 11 backed up. Either that or just wasn't quite able to get the runoff that he had been getting. Well, you know, only he knows whether he checked up or not. But Jordan Bain, he's he's starting to see this 38. I'm sorry, rather this 8 car of TomTom get just a little bit closer in these Brant colors. Now nobody side by side directly behind him. Jordan Bain might have to watch, but these guys have been battling. Have they worn out their stuff? Are they starting to feel the effects of having to really battle hard? While Jordan Bain has just been pretty much on cruise, running his own line. We're actually going to catch up with this battle that's ramping up to be between the 8 and the 28.
Yeah, battle now starting to heat up. Ford versus Chevy, Jordan Bain versus Thomas Flaycroft. These two are going to get ready to go at it. But meanwhile, that 16 of Cody Giles starting to stalk these two alongside the 38 and 5. These guys are trying to close in this battle. Now starting to become a huge battle for the first place position. Once again, if this 16 can get to that rear bumper.
All right, so now, Byron, I got to ask you. All right, so the 8 has been able to work his way through traffic. He got past the guys that he had to fight in order to get up to the 28. He's there now. I mean, he's only, 3/10, 4/10 off the back bumper of that Mustang in front of him. From here on out, does he just kind of ride and let things cool off? Or does he push, try to lead a lap, try to gain that point, and then try to attack later? What do you think this 8 and 16 and these guys should be doing? They're in third place. They're not in the back to where they gotta really scrounge for position, scrounge for points. Do they just let it ride for a while?
Yeah, I think you do. Let the car ride, stay behind him. But in the same boat, I really do like clean air. I like to be out in the front, being the one to be able to drive the corners, not having to worry about draft, not having to worry about being in that open air, which is exactly where that 28 is, because now you can't run that line that he's running anymore. You got to find a different one to pick up more speed to keep up with him. So if you can get to him, pass him, look for that clean air. At that point, you should be cleared to run whatever you want, however you want. But I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Well, hey, everybody's got one, right? So these guys doing a pretty phenomenal job. One wreck in the first 4 or 5 laps. Ever since then, everybody's been kind of like minding their P's and Q's, being the mild-mannered race car driver that they all are. And just as I say that, looks like we might have a caution, and it's going to have something to do, I believe, with Elliott Henderson. So we'll go back as we see the pace car come on out, and he's going to be the first one to go ahead and pick up our leader, Jordan Bain. All right, so I believe, again, that had something to do with Elliott Henderson. We're going to go ahead in the back, try to find him. Looks like he is on pit road. Let's see if we can find out exactly what happened here. Yeah, he doesn't have much of a rear end left. Let's see. Whoa, actually, we're going to go ahead and rewind this if we can. Looks like he might have had a little bit of contact in the back.
Where's SpaceX when you need them?
Right. So 37 down the backstretch. I believe that's going to be the Haas number 43rd. Yeah, one of these Haas Mustangs. And this 25 just got up to his back bumper, and as you said, he will have future sponsorship from SpaceX. Let's go ahead and bring it back live. Very, very unfortunate. And let's pick up our leaders, Jordan Bain and Cody Giles.
Yeah, SpaceX new program, as I like to put it every time, you hate to see that sometimes. Just the slightest of taps sends you straight up into the air, and that's pretty much all she wrote about it. And now what do? You got a missing back bumper, missing front bumper. How do you sort of plan for the future part of that race? I don't know, but Elliott, he's got to start thinking of something very quickly.
Yeah, he's got to try to figure that out. I do believe these guys do have one fast repair, if I'm not mistaken. Out there in chat, Robert's out there saying, "What's up, Pete?" Spurl saying, "Pete!" And Ferret Man saying, "Oh, Commentator's curse, shaking my head, says old Commando Griff. Boehner still leading. Cody Giles, P2. Tristan Help, P3. Brendan Book, P4. Jacob Kerr in P number 5.
Yep, guys now going to start double filing up. Look at that beautiful scheme right there of the 11 of Jacob Kerr. I love the very simplistic schemes. You got the nice gray with the nice navy blue over the top of the car. It just looks so good.
I'm kind of curious what he means by shouldn't have been standing there on the bottom skirt. I don't know what that means. Shouldn't have been standing there. Where were we standing? We'll have to ask him
maybe
later.
running over his competition. Shouldn't have been there.
Maybe. We'll have to see. Green flag back out. Jordan Bain and again Cody Giles in the 16. Jordan Bain first again on that very loud pedal. There's I tell you, Baines, he's done a great job on the restarts. And with a track as slick as this, you would imagine that it's probably there's definitely no first gear restart, and I would imagine you probably even have to feather it just a little bit with a second gear restart.
Yeah, most definitely. That's my only thought when you say that is, yeah, you got to be smart with it. You can't burn up the rubber too much. You burn up the rubber, next thing you know, your car is going to be all slippery. But 16 now, slowly starting to gain ground on this 28. He's trying to hang with him alongside the 5 of Brendan Book. It's kind of interesting, though. One of the guys that we saw up there battling with him very early on, the 8 of Thomas Flitcroft, now back to P4, P5, trying to battle his way up through the field.
Yeah. Oh, looks like we might have another caution, and I think Dakota Long might be part of this. This is going to be version 2.0, if I'm not mistaken, for that number 25. Yep, it's going to be the 25. Let's go ahead and pick up Dakota and see what happened here. There he is coming through the corner. Just got a little bit of that apron, and I'm not sure. Not 100% sure what happened to Dakota, but he instantly brought it back to the pits, and I almost wonder if before that issue with Elliot Henderson, if there wasn't maybe a little bit of history and the admins just told him to park it.
Maybe that could have been.
Yep, I almost wonder, because that's kind of interesting. Well, anyway, we'll go ahead and bring it back, and let's kind of go through the field as we kind of promised to do a little bit ago, and show you some of these drivers. We've been talking about Jordan Bain. Then we got old Fluffy in this number 16. That's going to be Cody Giles. Brendan Book in the number 5 out of Sterling Heights, Michigan. Tom Flitcroft. Tristan Help in this number 38 Barbasol car. John Honeycutt, no introduction needed, out of Orlando, Florida. Justin Mons. Then we got James Holzer in this number 17 Raise Energy Camaro. I tell you what, this guy has led more laps, won more races than anybody else. Jacob Kerr. Yeah, I shouldn't have been standing there, I guess. Peter Roggenheim in this number 39 Haas Automation Chevy. Ford Mustang, excuse me. Hunter Brittle in this number 10 Dog Fabrication car. Then Josh Harbin, Old Bear, in this number 3. Cody Kalinka. He's just riding the New England Patriots. I'm going to guess he's a number. He's a number 9. That's how many rings Tom Brady wanted before he decided to retire. It just didn't work out for him, I guess. Maxwell Castro in that number 27 Next Level Racing car. Jaden Gimble in number 81 iRace Podcast. Guys and gals, go ahead and look up his podcast, new on Spotify. They put out 2 episodes so far. You want to go back and you definitely want to watch. 91 of the Swag Biz, this league's alternate sponsor. Definitely want to go on over to the swag.biz. Look them up. Never know. Jordan McGraw in this number 34 Dreamcast Camaro. Jose Ruiz back here in the number 23 Zippo machine. Then we got Dakota Long in the pits. Elliot Henderson also had an issue out of Pittsburgh, PA. And then, of course, Josh Parker. Looks like as the pace car goes on by, the lights are out. That is through the field. Let's catch up with them one more time.
Yep, now they're all going to go ahead and double file up. At this point, you've sort of seen cautions happen every now and then. If another one does fly, you sort of come on down pit road, get your tires fixed and fuel, or if this time by, should you have gone on down, just in case if it did go green to allow your fuel to stretch further. These guys now already going to be on 25 lap old tires as they get ready to come back around and go green.
Now, I would imagine somebody in the back would have thought about maybe taking advantage and coming on down, grab some, some brand new rubber, top it off. That way they've got a little bit more weight in the back and go further. These cars can actually go quite a while. But in case you missed Jordan Bain in the beginning of the race, he mentioned these guys only have 3 sets for all 130 laps. So you're thinking like between 40 and 45 is when you're going to come on down. Jordan Bain right now, though, the only thing he's thinking about putting down is that loud pedal. Leaves the 16 of Cody Giles in the back, and it looks like Brendan Book is going to be able to capitalize on that side by side. A couple of target cars.
Yeah, the battle between the target cars. Who's the super target? Who's the non-super target? Said it earlier. The 8 of Thomas Flitcroft, though, looking to get his nose up into this competition. Meanwhile, the 17 of James Holzer slowly starting to make his way up through the field and slowly starting to stalk our leaders as he is now in the P6 battling between the 38.
The last couple of races, I'm talking about this Raise Energy machine that he drives. And, the blue cap on the back, the black, the silver, the gray, the flavor I kept on trying to think of was the Phantom Freeze. It's kind of like an Italian icy flavor that Raise Energy puts out. I'm actually drinking an Apollo right now. That's the red, white, and blue can that kind of tastes like one of the Bomb Pops. If you go to your grocery store, it's the red, white, and blue popsicles. That's what these taste like. Love the Raise, love the hydration packs, love the energy, love the hyper sleep and everything else that they help you with. Big thank you to Raise Energy. But man, Holzer has had almost no equal, as it looks like we're going to have a challenge for the lead. Here comes Tom underneath the 28 of Jordan Bain. He's going to be able to take it off of the corner. Bain's not going to be able to get back in the throttle. New leader, 8 car.
Bain was talking about earlier, not going to be too aggressive on having the battle people. We just saw it right there. Maybe Bain's starting to lose tires as now you see the 16 slowly starting to gain on him. Meanwhile, the 8 of Thomas Flitcroft, like you were talking about, just went ahead and checked out. Bain, though, in the wall. I think his tires are starting to burn now.
Yeah, either that or I think he's just trying to get a little bit too much out of it a little bit later in the run. 17 diving underneath the 5 of Brendan Book all the way down on the apron. And look at him rocket off of there. If I was the 50 of John Honeycutt right behind him, I'd be paying attention to the line that this 17 is running. Hold on to it. Hold on. There you go. Great job. Way to get on the binder. Put a little extra wheel into it and cut on down. That 17, he is making up tons of room off of that apron. Looks like there's a lot of grip down there, Byron.
Yeah, obviously that's looking to be the spot as you see him move all the way up the track right in front of that 16 of Cody Giles. But now 17 of James Holzer using the advantage he had down on that apron. Does he continue down there to catch the 8? It doesn't look like it. Now he's going to go ahead and move right back in the racing group. Meanwhile, the 16 of Cody Giles has a mirror full of that 28 of Jordan Bain. Whew. Bain, though, oh, man, guys are slipping and sliding all over the place down there on the backstretch. And guys starting to single file out now. Doesn't look like as big of a cluster as it was early on in this race.
Yeah, old Josh Harbin, the Bear 95, got a little loose off the corner on the opposite side of the track, off of 1 and 2, as they now go back into 1 and 2, and you saw him get really low as he's going to give a little bit of a love tap to the back end of Justin Mons in that number 41. no looseness, able to control the throttle off that corner. Now here comes a little bit of a battle between the 50 of John Honeycutt and the 5 of Brendan Book.
Yeah, those two now slowly starting to go at it. Meanwhile, the 41 of Justin Mons waiting for his plan of attack. There you go, to the inside of the 50 of John Honeycutt. Honeycutt now going to go battle side by side with him. Looks like it's going to be unsuccessful. No, the 3 is now going to give that 41 just a little bit of help. Honeycutt in the wall. Guys, man, he's starting to push that car just a little too much and found himself up in the wall. Something you don't want to see early on in this race. You do have a fast repair, but I don't want to use that thing early on, especially knowing possible late race cautions, and we all know those do breed cautions.
Absolutely. Great driving by the 94 of Sam Morris. After the 3 tagged the wall, the 94 had the presence of mind to go ahead and dodge to the left really quick, able to avoid any contact with the 3 and possibly even jam up that 50 behind him. Great job by Sam Morris. We're going to go ahead and pick back up with our leader, as it looks like now he's got about a 1.3 second lead over James Holzer. That going back to P number 2. Cody Giles back here with Jordan Bain as well, right behind him. Great battle here.
Yeah, these two are going to go side by side. They've been going side by side for a bit. As soon as we say it, 16 of Cody Giles going to find himself in the wall. Now the 5 of Brendan Book looking to take advantage. Meanwhile, the 3 all over his bumper. Guys are now starting to get wild. Everybody pushing for position. Only 35 laps in. I think this is way too early to start making anything really happen.
I got to be impressed with the 3 of Josh Harbin. You weren't here for that race. At least I don't believe you were. At Atlanta Motor Speedway was Josh's first race. First ever race. Like, he literally just got on iRacing midnight the night before and got baptized by fire in a full lobby at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He went like 4 laps down, and I talked to him in a chat the very next day. He goes, Pete, don't expect me to just ride back there. He goes, I know what it looks like the 5 might have got a little bit of help there from the 3 as I talk about him. Brendan Book sliding. I don't believe he hit too much, and I don't believe he got hit. I think he just might have got sent a little as I'm giving the 3 a couple kudos. But let's go back and find out what happened with the 5 target machine for Brendan Book. Yep, 5 checked up. Great job by the 5 to go ahead and lock it down, steer to the right, and then you see the tires get locked down, and everybody has peace of mind to part the river and go on around Brendan Book. Little bit of harm, really no foul. A little bit of damage to the left rear of that number 5, but that could have been a whole lot worse if somebody had come across his door and sent him down to the SpaceX camp. But overall, great job there by the 5.
Yeah, and that's one of the toughest things to sort of see happen is guys come on down and they're ready to hit the entrance, but then they slow it up so much that the guys on the inside want to say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to send it in. I hope he doesn't come down. It looked like that was the unfortunate case of Brendan Book and Josh Harbin, as everybody, though, going to come on down pit road, take their 4 fresh Eagle Feel Goods and get 2 full cans of Sunoco fuel.
Absolutely. The 8-car Tom Flitcroft, he's going to be the first one to hit his stall. Looks like he hits it perfectly. Doesn't have to back up. Doesn't have to pull forward. Parked it right on the pit board. We'll have to see if he's going to be the first one off. It looks like everybody doing close to the same thing, but I'm seeing some guys come out before him. Byron, do you think some people might have gambled a little bit with just right sides and topping it off? What do you think we're seeing here?
I'm gonna say yeah. Peter currently up in P1, the number 39. His pit stop time was 29 seconds. Jordan McGraw right behind him, P number 2, 34 seconds. But then it comes down to Flitcroft and Holzer. Flitcroft just a second slower than Holzer. I think Holzer got a little bit more on his side, got his guys around pit stop very good, but I don't know what to say about that 34 or that 39 with those two coming on down. I think they are gambling, but I think they are gambling very wrong for as early as we are into this race of 130 laps, 40 laps in. I don't think anybody should be gambling just yet.
This was I would say, with it being Pot Pie and Dip says he missed his pit. So there you go. That's going to be the number 39. We were talking about him just a little bit ago. That's going to be Peter Rogentheim. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Actually, I think I threw an M on the end of that instead of an N as in Nancy. So Peter Rogentheim back there in the number 39. He's sitting right now in P20, down 10 spots from where he started. But now it looks like Jordan McGraw, he's got control over the field. Whole lot of single file. Pace car has the entire field in tow. We should be double filing up, and being 40 laps in here, Byron, I would say that this is within the strategy to go ahead and grab 4 tires, fill it up, go another 40 or so, and then come on down pit road for your last set of tires. Again, these guys had to start on the tires that they qualified with. They didn't get a brand new pair of sticker tires to come on out and start ripping around the track. I think that might have been why some people chose to not qualify, while others chose to, qualify a little bit slower than they might have been able to, save a little bit of the integrity in that tire.
You know what, then? That makes me wonder on why that 17 hasn't been qualifying more, which sort of makes sense. His tires are going to become fresher, like you said, therefore allowing him to drive up to the field, putting him in the position he is to where he's sort of on everybody else's line, but they're all double filed up. Pace car's ready to pull down. We're ready to go green once again here at the Magic Mile.
Absolutely. 34, Jordan McGraw, old J-Mac. He's going to be the first one on the pedal. Great restart by the 28 of Boehner as well. And I'll tell you what, one other thing about this 17 of James Holzer, he actually put up a practice for everybody, I want to say like 2, maybe 3 o'clock this afternoon, and invited everybody in. He made sure that he got the settings of what the race was going to be. He tried to get the temperature, the weather, everything dialed in. That way everybody had a chance to come on out and practice under the actual conditions that they're racing in, as we see the 17 trying to look underneath the 34 of J-Mac. And with the 17 having at least 2 brand new tires, he should be able to make easy work of the 34 as he slides up, now under fire from the 8.
Yeah, here comes the 8 of Thomas Flitcroft, using a bit of that apron that we were talking about early on that the 17 was taking advantage of. 34, Jordan McGraw, though, starting to fall even more, now falling victim to the 50 of John Honeycutt. He's going to continuously go backwards as the 38's going to spin it right around. I'm sorry, not the 38. Cody's going to spin it right around.
Yeah, Cody Kalinka, unfortunately, looks like he might have got loose. I don't think I saw anybody kind of get into his tail end, but we'll definitely go ahead and pick up with Cody here in just a moment, see exactly what happened with him. Here we go. On the bottom side, keeping a very pretty wheel. And yeah, it looks like he just got back in the throttle with 4 brand new tires. They're gonna be loose. Not a whole lot of heat built up into them. He says this is Patriots company. Patriots didn't come in last this year, so maybe Cody still has a shot too. No, I shouldn't say things like that. But I'm sorry. My whole my wife's side of the family, they are all diehard Bills fans. Can't stand the Patriots. I grew up being a Giants fan. The Patriots have not won a Super Bowl against my New York Giants either, so it is what it is, right? Oh, just as I say that, my viewership just went from 15 down to 6. I don't know, Byron. I think I might have offended a few people.
Everybody's like, nope, we're done with this. Nope, I'm tired of it. We'll see you later. That's funny. But, yeah, it seems like guys now, Jordan McGraw, one of those guys we were talking about very early on. Well, not early on, but we were just talking about him recently, doing what he did, seeing if he can't take some sort of advantage but the 28 of Jordan Bain definitely took advantage. Now back to where he qualified at P1, but he does have the man right now that does hold league records rather right now in the eSpark series. 17 of James Holzer, 4 wins this series season, multiple laps led, probably the most laps led by one driver. And man, I wouldn't be surprised if he has the most laps led out of everybody combined with how much he's been doing and the amount of stuff. It's just got to take a lot of preparation to put himself where he is and a lot of practice. And I think that's sort of paying off now as he is trying to stock the 28 under caution, ready for whenever that goes green once again.
Well, for a second there, I thought maybe the 8 of Tom Flitcroft was actually going to dive on down pit road and come on out, see what he's going to be able to gain. But I think it's just a little too early. Jordan Bain still leading, 17 of James Holzer, P2, Tom Flitcroft, P3, John Honeycutt. Great job by that 50 so far, up to P4, and Jordan McGraw. Byron, I'm very surprised Jordan McGraw didn't come on down pit road right there and grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods. He would have been at least equaled out, if not had a few laps fresher tire to try to come back up through this field. If I was him, I would have come down. How about you?
It depends. Maybe he used up his tires early on and had to come on down for a set, maybe slammed on his brakes, created those little spots on his tires and sort of ruined that. But I think, yeah, you got to come on down, got to get those tires, take advantage of it. Meanwhile, the 10 of Hunter Brittle, I don't know if he did take tires or not on his last time by, but he's now up 15 positions in this race. Meanwhile, the 16 of Cody Giles starting to fall back about 3 positions. Guys, though, going to double file up as it should be 1 to go this time by.
Yep, should be 1 to go. Everybody getting lined up. We've just been kind of going through the field. Now riding along with the 77 FilterTime Camaro for the one and only Tyler Dohar. Right now he's tail end Charlie right around that 39. But let's go ahead and bring it back up to Jordan Bain. He's going to have the 17 hard-charging Raise Energy machine of James Holzer to his outside. We're going to go ahead and get this back up, get this going, getting on down this backstretch. If you're Jordan Bain, you got to wonder, what kind of games can I play? Can I maybe stab the gas, check up, get the 17 to think I'm going, maybe get him to pass the leader before the line, give him a black flag or something. Somebody's got to figure out how to snooker this 17. We're going to get ready, get set, get back going. Jordan Bain's going to have the entire field in tow on the loud pedal first. 8 of Tom Flitcroft goes right there with him. Great job. And it's going to, the 17 and the 8 going to be side by side in a 1 and 2. 8 slides up just a little bit, able to pull door to door with the 17 off of 2. 17's going to have the run on the high side, almost tags the wall, but everybody stays safe. We're staying green.
Yep, everybody's now starting to find their way through the pack, single filing out once again. 34 of Jordan McGraw now falling victim to the 3 of Josh Harbin. Guys, he's now starting to fall back, and he's starting to fall back very fast. Meanwhile, the 8 of Thomas Flitcroft slowly trying to gain ground on this 17 as these two looking to go side by side. Meanwhile, the 28 looking to take advantage of these guys going side by side, create more of a gap, especially with how fast Thomas Flitcroft and James Holzer have been all night.
Yeah, I tell you what, we haven't seen the 17 really go down and use much of the apron yet, as we see the 8 get very, very close to the back end of that number 17 Raise Energy can. You don't want to crack that can just yet. If you're going to give anybody a little bit of a shot, you want it to be at the end where it's a little bit more expected than right now. I mean, the 17, I'm sure he still has a faster can. If a accident should happen, if you get the air quotes there. But the 8 of Tom Flitcroft all over the back end of that 17. John Honeycutt moves himself up to P number 4. And the 3 car, Josh Harbin, now P number 5. The Bear marching through the field.
Yeah, up to P5, looking for more now. Starting to track down the 50 of John Honeycutt. Within half a second distance between him and that 50. and the front end of the field, also known as the leaders. He's now starting to try the cut down time. Meanwhile, the 50 of Honeycutt getting closer and closer to that back bumper of the 8 of Thomas Flitcroft.
Yeah, it seems like Honeycutt actually rolls the second half of the corner and off better than the 8. That seems like it's where he continuously runs him down. It might be that the 50 is a little bit better on the brake, getting in and then coming off. Let me see here. Not quite sure what that is, but I see out there, Atlanta. I'll take a look. I'll take a quick look, but the 50 and the 8, they continue to battle. Here's back up front though, as I was watching the time between the 28 and the 17 shrinking. The 17 now all over the back end of that 28 going through the corner. Jordan Baines should be watching the line that the 17 has been taking as the run goes on. So far, so good.
Yeah, time now starting to dwindle between the 17 and 28. These two getting ready to start battling. Meanwhile, the 50 is trying to catch that 8. But look at the apron use of that 17 of James Holzer. Going to take advantage of that. He's now going to go side by side with the 28 into 1 and 2. 17's got preferred lane.
Yeah, the 28 really came on down and pinched the 17 to where he almost had to go down there. Although that's been the preferred line of the 17, not too shabby. These guys are able to keep it side by side, but Holzer's going to go ahead and throw it in there, really put a whole lot of extra wheel in it, and grip coming off. Great job.
Man, that's so impressive. I've looked at it, and you think when you get down to that yellow, you either start getting loose or your car feels like it wants to spin out. No, it seems like that's the perfect spot to place your car. You get down there, you get that grip. Next thing you know, that thing just takes off. And right now, I think Bain, like you said, needs to start taking some notes, something, because that 17, the way he's being able to drive away, you got to do something to counter him, especially if a caution does fall a little bit later or whatnot in the race. You got to be able to know his tactics and how to get around him. Meanwhile, the 50 of Honeycutt slowly starting to close in on that 8 once again, while the 8 of Thomas Flitcroft looking to the rear end of that 28, trying to get around him.
Yeah, still trying to track him down and get on by. As always, it's one thing to catch the people, but another to pass them, especially at what could be a single line or a single groove track here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Again, this is the FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series, hydrated by our buddies at B-Water, live from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I am Repeat, along with old Byron Jones, AZ Yotes King, here in the booth. We are now just about halfway, another 7 laps or so. Right now, running lap 58. They'll be coming to lap 59 next time by.
I don't know if it's just me, but it does look like there is a little bit of blinking coming from that 50 of Honeycutt. Hopefully you can get that one figured out before it becomes a little bit too late or whatnot. But checking in with the 16 of Cody Giles. Now on the rear end of that 41 of Justin Mons. These two we saw packed up early on when Jordan McGraw fell back. They're still there trying to track down the 3 of Josh Harbin. They're trying everything they can. As I say that, Josh gets in the wall. Here comes the 41 and 16 to the outside.
Yeah, Josh Harbin up against the wall. Actually almost got up on 2 wheels. Definitely seen that before. Kind of brings back, I believe it might have been Neil Bonnet many, many moons ago that actually rode the length of the wall right here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. He got 2 wheels on the track, 2 wheels up on the wall, and rode it all the way down a straightaway. So great job by the 3 to retain control and keep that thing going, and also great job by everybody else not to hit him.
Yeah, being able to avoid is a huge thing in these cars because I saw a documentary once. It's not really based off of your reaction. If you're reacting and you realize it's too late, you're already involved in the crash, then it's one thing that driver instincts take over. And that 3 being able to keep it the way he is, you notice that it was reaction after he realized it, saying, oh, okay, that's going around, that's fine. I'm going to keep it straight And it's a crazy thing that a mind does for you, especially meanwhile racing. And at the end of the day, it's just all about how consistent can you be. You put it at any track, Watkins Glen, New Hampshire, Martinsville. It's all about consistency and how clean you can keep that car to be able to get to the end of the race. As the 27 now looking to the inside of that 3, he's slowly starting to fall off. Maybe tires may have came into effect for that 3.
Yeah, either that or a little bit of the damage that he's going to have to the right-hand side. But yeah, Maxwell Castro in this number 27 underneath the 3 of Josh Harbin, old Bear 95. He was actually teammates to, let's see if I can find Jose Ruiz. Yeah, here he is back here in 15th place, 2 spots up from where he started. Jose Ruiz, Josh Harbin, and the one and only Nick Roman, HD Motorsports, were teammates at Levine Family Gaming back in the day of Pro League Season 1 and Pro League Season 2. So they all know how each other drive. I'm not quite sure if they all still reach out and give each other pointers or not, but definitely some great driving by these guys. Let's go ahead and get back up to the front with Tom Flitty. Here he is hunting down the back end of the 28 of Jordan Bain. Bain looks like he's a little slideways off the corner, but I think that's just normal with these tires here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, I think that sort of is. As you see, yeah, look at the way Tom's car is swaying through the corner. Even on his brakes, you can see that thing. It's shaking back left and right, trying to keep grip within the car and not spinning around. Meanwhile, 17 of James Holzer just having a daily drive in front of those two. And look how much he's wheeling that thing just a little bit through the corner. And look how much counter steering he's attempting out of that exit. It's so impressive. It's fun to watch, especially inside the cockpit when these guys take it through a corner at a track like New Hampshire.
Absolutely. We're actually going to go ahead and allow y'all out there to go ahead and turn on your surround sounds, turn up the volume a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a lap or two around New Hampshire Motor Speedway with the one and only Tom Flitty, Tom Flitcroft. Go ahead, turn it up. Coming back in, so we ran on board with the 8 of Flitcroft a couple laps, moved on up to Jordan Bain, now riding along shotgun with the 50 of Honeycutt. Actually, if we're gonna say shotgun, probably need to switch on over here. Here we go. That's a better view, full cockpit view of the 50 of Honeycutt, getting down, getting into the corner, using a whole lot of brake, a little bit of wheel, and trying to come off the corners as fast as they possibly can. You hear them definitely feathering that throttle, Byron.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if some point maybe these guys start downshifting a little bit later in their run. I wouldn't say it's 100% a possibility, but we saw it at other tracks, shorter tracks, especially in the corners with how much braking they use. But Honeycutt just trying to stay within view of that 8 and 28. Meanwhile, the 28 and 8 are trying everything they can to just keep that 17 in their windshield. Man, Holzer, like always, just on a Sunday drive, and he continues just charging his way through the racetrack and is staying so calm, cool, and collective. It keeps me impressed every week to just watch what he does. Meanwhile, the 27 of Maxwell Castro trying to catch the 38 of Tristan Helm. They're trying to go at it just a little, but it's seeming like he's slowly starting to slow up. Tires starting to come in effect for just a few drivers here.
Yeah, still your top five are going to be James Holzer, Jordan Bain, Tom Flitcroft, John Honeycutt, and now Justin Mons to actually catch up with the 41 of Justin Mons. Kind of show a little bit about our buddy there out of Glen St. Mary, Florida. Don't think I've ever been through there, but he's had a few really nice paint schemes throughout the season. In the beginning of the season, he had a happy birthday car to his son, and here he is. Listen today, off monorails. Gonna guess it's a podcast. You probably want to look that up on Spotify, and he's of course part of Dark Horse Motorsports. Good job by Justin Mons.
Yeah, he said it a little bit earlier. Actually, it's a podcast that he helped started with his brother and cousin. They're covering sort of adult things to do at Walt Disney World theme parks and resorts, and that was sort of stuff that he was talking about. If you want more information on it, you head over to offthemonorails.com, and he's got more info there too. But yeah, it's cool to see. I love it when they start talking about other stuff, saying, hey, got some cool stuff here. It may just be for kids, but it's also for adults. Meanwhile, something that is for adults is Target and the amount of groceries you can get from there. I love it whenever you see those Target paint schemes. You either think, hey, okay, somebody's getting targeted today, or hey, he's going to try everything he can to do and move up position-wise. But 5 of Brendan Book was finding himself in battle for the points lead within the 17 of James Holzer, but now just looking to keep within distance of that 17 points-wise. And playoffs are going to be a thing, so if he can keep riding where he is, he'll get himself locked in, fighting for a championship a little bit later on in the season. Meanwhile, the 28 of Jordan Bain still trying to close in that gap of the 17, but it seems like it's not working out. 17 now out to 2 seconds of a gap between the 28 and the 8.
Yeah, the 28, he led. I want to say it was probably about 40 laps before the 17 slowly but surely worked his way through the field. I'm sure a lot of people would love to know what that 17's got under his driver's seat in order to be able to continuously pace this field. And he does a great job. He's not doing it in any kind of a dirty manner. He's not bullying his way through the field, not making contact with a bunch of cars. And he's not trying any kind of a Dale Earnhardt, here I am in your rear view kind of thing. He's just very fast, very consistent. And since week 4, he's been consistently in the points lead as well.
Yeah. Consistently in the points lead is right. After that huge battle between him and Book for that top dog position, he was able to take advantage. But I don't know, season's not fully over yet. Season's not even, I don't think, halfway. Only 6 races in. These guys still got, I believe, half of season left plus whatever playoffs is. These guys ain't going to be done until about mid-April, mid-March, start of April. These guys still going to continuously go at it, though. And, wow, looks like 81 of Jaden Gimbel does have some front-end damage. But I tell you what, every time I look at his cars, just the chrome that he's got on it looks so good, meshed with his iRacing podcast that he's got that just started up on Spotify.
Yeah, and so far, week number 1 was Tyler Dohar and Jordan Bain. Week number 2 was Randy Hinshaw and Terry. So you definitely want to go on over and look them up. It's the iRace podcast brought on by Jaden Gimbel. I'll go back to his car one more time, and it looks like maybe Gimbel has maybe he might be watching the broadcast and racing at the same time, because we just saw him exit the exit the corner down on the apron, and you saw him rock it off with a lot of speed, just like we've seen the 17 do many, many times.
Yeah, looking to continuously take advantage of that, and that's exactly what that 81's trying to do. I think you're right. He did see, he's like, oh, hey, look, at that bottom apron seems to be the best, if not most grip you can get on the track right now. It does look, I don't know if I'm seeing it right, but he may be at least one down on the leaders. But hey, he's still got time to get back up, still got time to reassess the car, reassess the damage, be able to fix it, especially if a caution does fly. But right now, Gimbal doing everything he can to slowly catch everybody else in front of him.
Yeah, trying to catch everybody else in front of him, but he's got a long way to go before he catches up with this number 17 for James Holzer. Still P1, now 2.5 seconds ahead of Jordan Bain, sitting back here in P number 2. Tom Flitcroft, P number 3 in his brand 8 Chevy Camaro, and then John Honeycutt just a little bit further back right now, sitting P4 ahead of Justin Mons, P number 5. Great job by all so far. Only 2 cautions, rocking lap number 82 out of 130. Byron, these guys got a whole lot of distance between them and a very, very big green flag run feel to it.
Yeah, if this does continue, pit stops are almost imminent. It's going to happen very, very soon. Guys are going to start thinking about that. But in the same boat, they got to start thinking fuel. If I don't have enough fuel to get myself to at least the 90 range to get my 40 laps out of this car, what am I going to be able to do? It looks like 16 of Cody Giles got really loose out of corner number 2 rather. Was able to keep the thing straight. Very, very impressive. Almost looked like a sprint car trying to make his way on down a straight, but he's going to keep it going, and doesn't look like he collected any damage on the side of his car, so he's going to be A-okay. Meanwhile, the 5 of Brendan Book slowly starting to close the gap again on that 27 of Maxwell Castro. But at what point do you come on down for tires and fuel, and at what point do you say, okay, I'm hanging up the coat, got to get down there, and I got to do something?
Well, you got to figure with this green flag feel that the race has taken on, with a little bit more separation between everybody. If you go on down pit road and it goes green, you're going to lose at least a lap. And then if the caution does happen to fly, either with somebody trying to lock it down, getting onto pit road, or whatever the case may be, if the caution comes out, you're trapped a lap. And if it doesn't, if it goes green again, you're done. I mean, you're not gonna get on by the 17 at the pace that he's running to race him for your lap back. And just as we are following the 5, it looks like the 28 of Jordan Bain has actually come on down pit road. So everybody going on by him, we're actually going to go ahead and pick up with Jordan Bain, see exactly what he's planning on doing. Coming to the attention of his pit box, right underneath his pit board, there you see the right side go up. That's going to come on down. You'll see the left side go up. Left side tire is going to go on. Meanwhile, getting full of that Sunoco E15 racing fuel, he doesn't really have to worry about managing pit road speed. He can get on the throttle, come on off. He really does have to watch his pit exit though. You don't want to come out too much ahead of that blue cone. You will get a black flag for an unsafe pit exit. So you got to be very, very careful. Jordan Bain now has to manage these tires for a few laps, let the heat build up, let the grip build up, and then try to attack. But it looks like our leader has also come on down pit road. Here's James Holzer, just now exiting the pits. So he saw what the 28 of Boehner did, and there you see Boehner in the very far distance. But with all this going on, Cody Giles now in this number 16 target machine. He has inherited the lead.
Yeah, inherited indeed. But meanwhile, I guess under pressure by the 38 and 27, they're sort of there still hanging with him. But I think I know exactly what these two want. They want a caution to come. They want to caution the fly out, say, hey, you know what, right here, right now. He wants those guys on the fresh tires to loop it around and give them some sort of advantage to trap guys laps down and be able to keep their car nice and tidy, nice and squeaky clean, as you would like to put it.
Yeah.
And just keep it up, and hopefully, as I say that, here comes the 16 on down pit road. 38 and 27 going to go ahead and stay out.
That's right. 38 of Tristan Help and Maxwell Castro. They're going to stay out. Then you got the 5 of Brendan Book. That's been basically just running his pace. Once this all cycles back around, it should come back to the 17 of James Holzer. The one car in front of him that has not yet pit, of course, going to be the 77 of Tyler Dohar, running a little bit further back. It is definitely not unlike Dohar to try to stretch this out a little bit. He is a master of saving fuel and saving his tires to be able to go on the long run. Tristan Help and Maxwell Castro still nose to tail for the lead. The 27 wants to see the 38 go down. 38 wants to see the 27 go down. That way he knows he's got a clear entrance next time and doesn't have to worry about somebody being right up his trumpet when he goes to slow down and get down to pit road speed.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, you don't want to have pressure. You don't want to have somebody behind you that, you make a mistake. Next thing you know, they're right in your rear bumper saying, hey, you know what? That's your fault. You didn't get it slowed up in time or whatnot. I think if you do the super speedway strategy. We've done it before. You got to have one go inside, one go outside.
Yep.
Try to see if you can't time it up perfectly, especially at a short track like this. You got to do everything you can. Meanwhile, the 16 of Cody Giles already back on the rear end of these guys. And look at the fresh tires compared to the old tires. He's going to go ahead and blow right past them.
Yeah, going to blow right on by the 27, now side by side with the 38 across the start stripe. This is starting lap number 93 of 130. 27 drifting up just a little bit, almost collected the left rear of the 38. No harm, no foul. They're going to be able to move on. These guys still yet to pit. This is your race right here for first and second. Brendan Book a little bit further back in P number 3. J-Mac, Jordan McGraw sitting P number 4. And Sam Morris in that number 94 now sitting P5. Oh, just about 11 seconds behind the 38 right now.
Yep. Now, Brendan Book's got to be able to start thinking too, as we were talking about Jordan McGraw. He's going to go ahead and bring his 34 Chevrolet on down pit road and get his car serviced. But at what point do you say, hey, that's it, I'm throwing in the white towel, I got to come on down pit road. It's now or never. And it's 38 and 27 still refusing. And nope, they're still going to stay out. This is very impressive. I don't know how long they're trying to stretch their fuel, but I think they're pushing it too far right now, Pete.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you can't beat them, join them, as the saying goes. So right now, the 38 and the 27, both of these guys know they don't have anything for the 17. The 17, as Spurl said out there in chat, 17 is about to check out, and he said that quite a while ago. He said that about 9:45, and here we are now. It's what, 10:01, so 15-20 minutes ago, he called the 17 saying he's going to be gone. He was 100% right. 38 and 27, no, they can't beat the 17 straight up. They need some luck to fall their way. But so far, on lap 96, they're still the leader. How much longer do they stay out? They are losing a ton of time to everybody that's come on down and put on 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods.
Yeah, pitting last on lap 38 for both of these drivers. The fact that they've been able to stretch their field this far has been beyond impressive. Brendan Book also within that range of 39 was the last time he pitted. So this makes me truly wonder how much gas these guys can get out of these Xfinity cars and how far they can truly go, because at this point, I mean, like you said, pushing your luck, or if you can't beat them, join them. But Holzer, he's trying to track them down. Holzer within roughly 8 seconds or so up to that 38. So these guys just continuously losing time while they're trying to stay out.
Yeah, right now, James Holzer, here he is. He's got Jose Ruiz right behind him in this number 23. It could be an interesting thing. Jose Ruiz, don't know if he's actually gone down pit road a whole lot earlier than some other people, and he's just been able to make up some time, or what's happened. But it's great to see Jose up here inside the top 5, and he's got Jordan Bain behind him, as you see the Bear to the outside, and the 94, Sam Morris, surrounding this this B-Water Ford Mustang.
Yeah, it looks like actually those guys are both a lap down, if I am seeing this right.
Yep.
I could be wrong, but yeah, those two a lap down trying to find their way back onto a lead lap, which is very interesting to see. I think early on, Samuel Morris and Josh Harbin were both on the lead lap battling up against this 28. But I think after that, after Josh got into the wall, found himself into the wall, he really just backed up the car from there. But as you were talking about 23 of Jose Ruiz, he has not come on down pit road yet either. He is refusing to come on down pit road alongside everybody else. His last time he pitted was lap 39, so he's trying to stretch him for all he can do too. And I think at this point, they're just trying to play the luck game, hoping everything falls on their side.
Let's go ahead and bring it back up to our leader, Tristan Helf. He is still yet to pit, still running P number 1. Then we got Brendan Book in P number 2, quite a ways behind, at least a good 5.5, almost 6 seconds back. So Brendan Book, another one, really hoping that that caution will fall, because just behind him by about another 2 seconds, you called it, this number 17 Raise Energy Camaro for James Holzer. Jordan Bain now able to get on by Jose Ruiz just behind him, but there is a little bit of a gaggle back here. Old Spurl just said they may be the caution next. I know he was talking about the 3, the 94, and the 28 when they were all close together. Well, guess what? They haven't got a whole lot of separation between them. Somebody accidentally runs a corner a little bit more or whatever. You never know. But he also just said that Boehner said, y'all can have it. Boehner could be thinking big picture. Nobody wants, or he doesn't want anybody opening up that bottle of B-Water before he's ready. Sitting right there, P4, Tom Flitcroft now, P number 5. Tristan Helf still leading.
Yeah, and as you were actually talking about Bain, I was going to say he's trying to be fast. And that sort of brings me into bwaterbu.com. Put in promo code BFAST if you want to purchase the new stay that they've created, or if you want a case of B-Water. They got it in 6-packs, and I believe it is it 12 packs, 6 and 12 packs that you can purchase it in.
6
and then
6 and 24, and then
okay.
Packs of 4 of the new stay drink, basically a hemp water. And they've got hemp water for all different everything. You need a little energy, you need just a pick-me-up, you need a little bit more focus, you need something. There is a hemp water for it all. But yeah, bwaterbu.com, and when you get to checkout, put in promo code BFAST, all in caps, for an immediate $5 off. There you go.
Look at that, Pete putting in the hard work.
Hey, you started it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just say how much these guys have done. From this series coming over, hydrating this series, to hydrating their very own 8-week series that you are also calling over there. It's so fun to see the amount of stuff that they've been involved in, even on an actual NASCAR. I can't wait to see where those guys find themselves very near in the future, and especially with their stocks they got going on right now, INKW, those are soon to start to blast off.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've got an E-Trade or a Fidelity account, look up stock symbol INKW. There you see it scrolling across the top of the leaderboard. Right now, it's still a penny stock, but more and more people have been buying their way in. And man, I know a lot of people that are in it for the long haul. B-Water, or Green Concepts, the parent company, has shown a lot of faith and trust in iRacing and in the B-Water series on Monday nights. You don't want to miss out. Jacob NASCAR says, hello, everybody. And then Weeks saying, howdy, Jacob. So good to see Jacob out there. Thanks for joining in. Now 24 laps remaining. James Holzer back in the lead. Brendan Book in this number 5 target machine. He's been playing the strategy, finds himself P2, and there you see those B watercolors for Jordan Bain in P3. Tom Flitcroft, P4. John Honeycutt still navigating this high-tech securities number 50 in P number 5.
Yeah, he was almost navigating his slideways Chevy Camaro, as he did get a little bit sideways into that, off of corner 2, but now slowly starting to look at the big picture between the 8 and 28. He's seeing the 28 now starting the battle between the 5 of Brendan Book. Meanwhile, here comes the 8 of Thomas Flitcroft all over his bumper. Thought he was going to give him a shot through that corner. He's going to play it nice and smart and going to let that 5 of Brendan Book slap the wall just a little, and now falling back to the 50 of John Honeycutt.
Yeah, John Honeycutt really cutting it in. You see him putting a whole lot of effort into that wheel. Let's actually show you exactly what the 5 is, as he's going to come on down pit road with 22 laps remaining. A lot of these other guys are set in their ways. Brendan Book bringing it on down. He was really hoping for a caution. It just did not fall his way. But in the bottom right-hand side of your screen, the wheel input that you see there, that is exactly what John Honeycutt in this number 50 is doing with his wheel. Absolutely sawing on it, coming off the corner, trying to make up a bit of time that he can on the back end of this number 8. Look at him turning to the right as he's still going left.
This is just so interesting to see. And you can see it too a little bit on the outside when you look in on that person down there. You can sort of see him wheeling it around too. Look at the gloves. You can see the gloves turning up, and especially down there where your wheel well is, that's showing everybody. It takes a lot to wheel these Xfinity cars around the track. A lot of these guys say they prefer the Xfinity cars because of how tough it is to drive it. And man, right now, New Hampshire definitely proven everybody's skill that they can take driving at a track like this. Is now the 8 of Thomas Flitcroft. Look how much he's wheeling as well. Everybody trying to keep it left, but their car wants to go right into that wall.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta turn it right to keep going left. This ain't dirt, but I'll tell you what, throughout part of this race, there is a whole lot of looseness that these guys are having to deal with. And also, when they're allowing the car to drift up towards the wall, they're actually turning right while the rear end is trying to catch up, and they can ultimately just get back on the throttle, stab it to go straight, and they do a phenomenal job. 19 laps to go, now under 20 to go here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Again, repeat here with the one and only Byron for the FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series. As Byron said, hydrated by our buddies at B-Water. A lot of these guys going to need a B-Water or a hemp. Once they're all said and done, they're going to get out of those cars. They're going to be breathing happy thanks to their FilterTime race car filters, I guess we'll say, if there is such a thing. I know when I first bought my house, that was one of the first things I did. Went online to FilterTime.com and put in for a subscription. I get my filters delivered to me every time they're needed. Every 30 days, a brand new filter is delivered to my door. I don't have to worry about it. So Blake Cook, Dale Jr., thank you very much. Absolutely appreciated. We just saw that 5 come blasting on by the 8, and he's absolutely making up time, but it's just unfortunate he's a little bit further in the back. Here is that 5 now. He just got past the 28.
Yeah, one lap down, trying to track down that 17 of James Holzer, who's created a 7-second gap between him and the 28 of Jordan Bain. The 5 of Brendan Book trying to close that gap. As you see, he's slowly starting to drive away from that 28. But I think at this point, all battle is between that for that second position. This 17, I mean, we talk about him constantly, week in, week out, the amount of stuff he's able to do, the amount of wins he picks up. And we always think, who's going to be able to attack at him this week? Who's going to be the one to be able to sort of put up some sort of competition this week? I don't think it's anybody but the 28 of Jordan Bain, one of those guys we talk about consistently too, finding himself P2. He's one of the faster guys on other series we see. Right now, he's got his work cut out for him in that 28 B-Water Ford Mustang.
Yep, looks like Jordan Bain was able to get on by Tom Flitcroft in that number 8 Brandt car. You want to see how that pass happened? Let's go ahead and take a look. Set him up coming off the corner, able to stay up high, and doesn't actually, this isn't what I wanted. It must have been one lap prior, but you kind of get the idea. You saw maybe he used the 5 cars to pick. I don't know, but let's go back live and catch up with the 28, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft. Everybody's still trying to chase down James Holzer up there now, 7 seconds ahead of P2 and P3.
Yeah, a little bit less than 15 to go in the race. At this point, you sort of understand it's crunch time. You got to start doing something, got to start pushing the car a little more. Like someone said over in your chat, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a caution with 8 to go. I'm sort of, wouldn't jinx it, but we've seen it happen where constantly we're seeing cautions happen at the end of races, putting these guys in green, white checkers, and chaos just ensues past that. I don't know. The way everybody's all spread out at this track, though, as I say that, there's a gaggle of cars right in front of the 50 of Honeycutt who's trying to track down that 8 of Thomas Flitcroft and that 28 of Jordan Bain, as those two are now going to start battling some lap cars. The 10 of, let's see if I can pull him up here. I can't see the 10. I'm sorry, the 10 of Hunter Brittle, and then, of course, the 81 of Jaden Gibble. These guys now going to start battling. That's just going to allow the 17 to pull out to even further of a gap he's already created in this race.
Well, I tell you what, the 8 car just about got up into the left rear of the 10, but great hands by Tom Flitcroft not to get up and not to cause a wreck. 10 car absolutely trying to diamond out the corner just a little bit, but now realizes the race that he was just a part of. The 8 and the 28, and now in a race for P number 2. Then they've got the 50 of John Honeycutt sitting back there in P number 4. And Justin Mons in this number 41, just a little bit further back, sitting there in P5. Maxwell Castro, 6th. Cody Giles, 7th. Tristan Help in 8th. Jordan McGraw in 9th. And Sam Morris now is going to round out your top 10. Tom Flitcroft still trying to get up there, trying to take that spot back. So far, not going to happen, as it looks like Jacob NASCAR out there saying, let's go Honeycutt. Let's actually check in with that 50 one more time, trying to get underneath the 10.
Yeah, trying to get around the 10. I think he's got his eyes set on a podium finish tonight. He wants to come up here and talk with us. We chat about him week in, week out. We chat with him. The amount of fun he enjoys, the amount of enjoyment he has on the track, being able to race with everybody else, being able to do what he loves, what everybody loves, the reason we're all here, and that's racing. And Honeycutt is going to push this car by almost anything he can to catch that 8 of Thomas Flitcroft and that 28 of Jordan Bain. And right now he's doing an excellent job, slowly starting to close that gap, slowly but surely.
Yeah, it definitely has a little bit of a whiff from that 8 car. 8, same thing with the 28 of Jordan Bain, but now 9 seconds ahead of this battle here for 2nd through 4th is going to be the 17 of James Holzer. Still leading. He's definitely locked down, most laps led. Lachlan Stratus, what's happening, man? How are you, buddy? Thanks for coming out, sir. Good to see you.
Honeycutt now starting to close in the gap a little bit more on this 8 of Thomas Flitcroft. And I just looked back down at the 17. He's now out to almost 9 seconds on these guys with a little less than 7 to go left in the race. He's just, like you said, every time he's in cruise mode at this point. He knows what he has. He's not going to push the car too much. He's just going to drive what he can and hope that a late race caution does not fall, which I'm going to go ahead and knock on wood over here. Hopefully it doesn't. Typically, like I said, we see this happen a ton, but I wouldn't be surprised if the 28, 8, and 50 are all cool with that happening, as these guys, though, starting to get into a 3-way battle for that 2nd place position.
Absolutely. 28 Jordan Bain, 8 car of Tom Flitcroft, and the 50 of John Honeycutt. Justin Mons just slightly outside of this battle, sitting there as he comes across the start stripe. Now 6 laps remaining here in this battle at the Magic Mile. James Holzer in very firm control of this race. Still the fight is for second, third, and fourth, as we saw that 5 marching through the field when he came down pit road with 22 to go, now able to get on by the 17, and I think that put him right back on the lead lap. I don't think he was more than 1 lap down, so if a caution was to come out, he would either be the lucky dog, I think, or at least be the first car, would be the last car on the lead lap. Brendan Book looking pretty good in that target machine if things should happen to fall his way. So everything's still going on up here with the 17. We're going to go back with this battle between the 50, the 8, and the 28. Looks like Boehner has a little bit of a gap now between himself and the 8. The 8 and the 50 getting closer and closer. There you see the 77 of Tyler Dohar back there, and the 41 of Justin Mons as well. Dohar is a lap down, not part of that mix, but you know he'd like to get up there and battle with these guys all the same.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. He'd love to be up in this battle right now, especially seeing those guys right there, knowing the speed Dohar has. But I got to give him props right now. It looks like he gets to the back bumper of that 50, but he sees those guys battling in the front, so he lays off. He's not going to attempt to go side-by-side with anybody as of right now, but right behind that 77 is the 23 of Jose Ruiz. Those two are going to go ahead and battle for position, though. That is for P number 14. I think Dohar at this point is just like, go, honeycut. I'm going to push you. I'm not going to let this 23 around me by anything, by any means, nothing. He ain't getting around me at this point, but I think maybe top 3, top 4 are all solidified at this point. As I say that, I had to say it. I just had to say it.
You called it. Caution is out. 3 laps to go. Oh, my Lord.
I just had to say it. I'm sorry, everybody.
Wow. Jaden Gimbel in that number 81 is going to be the cause of this caution. Let's go on and pick up with that 81 right now. Find out exactly what happened in his iRace podcast, number 81. Jaden Gimbel, here we go. Oh, he just tagged the wall. Wall kind of grabbed a hold of him. I'm guessing he was thinking about just trying to get a better arc getting into the corner, and got a little too friendly between the right front and the wall. There you see the smoke pouring out of the back end of this iRace podcast Camaro. Very, very unfortunate. Let's take one more look. Yeah, he just got a little too close to that wall, came up, grabbed him, and that was the end for the 81.
So you're put in a predicament at this point. Do you pit or not pit? As I say that, it looks like a good amount of guys are going to go ahead and stay out. But the 17 of James Holzer, 28 of Jordan Bain, 50 of Honeycutt. It looks like 41 of Justin Mons, 27 of Maxwell Castro, and 16 of Cody Giles, 38 of Tristan Health, 34 of Jordan McGraw, and the 5 of Brendan Booker are going to go ahead and come on down. Meanwhile, the 94, 11, 9, and 77 going to go ahead and stay out, see if they can't get their wave around, possibly try to get themselves back on the lead lap for this 3-lap shootout. I'm sorry, green-white checkered shootout these guys are going to have. But at this point, what are you thinking? If you're this 28, are you giving this 17 the bumper, especially with how dominant we've seen James Holzer be all night?
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, the guy that has been consistent all night long is going to be the 8 of Tom Flitcroft. He is going to be your leader, as you see the 2 cars that were 1 lap down pull off, go down pit road, including the 11 of I believe it's going to be Jacob Kerr. Yep, he's going to go on down pit road, and man, I don't want to be the 8 right now, because he knows he's looking at his relative. He sees exactly what's going on. He's listening to his spotter up in the stands saying, hey, man, that's 17. He's behind you. And, oh, by the way, he's got 4 brand new tires. The 8, with the tires as old as they are, he's not going to get the grip that he needs on this restart. He'll be lucky if he doesn't spin them. If he tries to restart in second, he's got a good chance of spinning him. He might have to either start off in second and immediately jam it back into third. That way he doesn't spin the tires too bad. But yeah, James Holzer riding here to his outside. And then, of course, we saw Jordan Bain come off a pit road right behind that 17. This is going to be a wicked 3-lap shootout. I don't think we're done with the cautions.
No, not at all. Now that everybody's all bunched back up, they're like, hey, position, don't mind if I do. They're going to take everything they can. But 28, we saw he's been fast out of the gates. The 17, we saw he's also been proven to be fast out of the gates and fast at the end of his runs. 50 of Honeycutt, also another one of those drivers that's fast out of the gates. It just, at this point, solely depends on how the 8 attacks this restart and whether or not that 28 can move around him or if he can stay with him alongside that 17 and 50, being able to time him almost perfectly off that start. That's all this is going to come down to. Pace lights off that pace car, and these guys now getting in focus. They got to start thinking of what they can do here.
Yeah, I tell you, if Boehner's been paying attention to the line that the 17's been running, and I hope he has, he can get down, really get a great launch off the apron, and maybe shoot on by the 8, maybe shoot on by the 17, go on up on those 4 New Eagle Feel Goods, and get it done. I'd love to see Boehner go ahead and grab a W. 8 car, 17, 28, 50. Back on the loud pedal, back under green. And it looks like the 28 and 50 are going to be side by side. Justin Mons behind the 28. He's going to battle. There's a 17 diving on underneath Jordan. And that's going to put the 50 up the wall. 27 is going to go around. Caution is going to come out. And it's going to be Jose Ruiz and Maxwell Castro for one more time. Set him up, Joe. Important. We ain't done yet.
Yep, cautions breed cautions at this point. Knew that should have happened. Man, I shouldn't have said anything. Should have kept my mouth shut.
Let's go back and pick up with Jose Ruiz and Maxwell Castro back here. Honeycutt giving a little bit of bumper love to the 28. Let's go back and look. 16, throwing it in, a little bit of left rear contact to the 27. Maxwell Castro goes around and nowhere for that 34 to go, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you were talking about that 50 giving the 28 a little bit of a love tap. I think that was after the slight incident those two had after making contact in one, where Bain moved up, gave that 50 a big old shot to the door, moved him up the track, and I don't think Honeycutt was at all very happy with that situation, that sort of move, but there you go, there's the replay of it, just doored him a little, and Honeycutt being able to keep his position, but man, that's something you don't want to see, especially after the night he's had so far, but gotta regather, gotta regroup, hope that you can go ahead and continue forward with that car.
There you go. Spurl out there in chat saying Boehner was in a bad spot. You're not kidding. Stuck behind the 8 on very, very old tires. Jacob NASCAR saying, I'm pretty sure it's the new Delaras we ran before, but I don't know. Jacob NASCAR, they're out there talking with Lock on Stratus, and Stratus is talking about the Indy race with the Mega Dash race next Monday or next Tuesday night. It's going to be the Indy cars at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as part of the Mega Dash 3-race series. They ran Daytona last night, and that was a great race. Next week, they're going to be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Indy cars, and then the third week, they're going to take off to Australia for the V8 supercars at Mount Panorama, or better known as Bathurst. I'll have the Indy race next week right here on my channel, and then the great Rick James is going to broadcast the Bathurst race. Both are going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, if they come in and try to crash that Indianapolis party down there on track, see if I can't drive those things. Yeah, those things, I know they get super aero tight. Wouldn't be surprised if a few guys get in the wall there. But it sounds like a blast. one of those guys putting it on, of course, helping out is the 50 of John Honeycutt, which is sort of trying to focus on this race as well. But yeah, I mean, you look at Honeycutt, he's all over the place. He's got Shake and Bake, originally helping out in PSES, found himself now over in this Mega Dash, and currently trying to finish very well here in the eSpark race.
Definitely appreciate that. And I apologize, Atlanta Racing, earlier if I forgot to thank you for rating with the 10 viewers. Absolutely appreciate it. Hopefully some of y'all stuck around. Eiler1, big thank you for the follow. And of course, G Weeks out there with the 5 bits. Absolutely appreciate every bit of your patronage, your viewership, and your friendship. Thank you very much for keeping it right here. These guys are about to settle it. You might as well say it's high noon at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway with this FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series. Everybody's going to need to be hydrated by B-Water when it's all said and done. It's going to be Holzer, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, 41 of Mr. Mons, 28 of Boehner, and the 50 of Honeycutt. Boehner again on that outside behind the 8 on those very old tires. That should allow the 17 to rocket away. Let's go ahead and take a look. Loud pedal engaged.
Look at that. The 8 was able to keep up with the 17. Those two are going to go side by side through 1 and 2. I was so impressed with that. I saw that 17 take off. The 8 of Thomas was right behind him, but now old tires are going to come into effect. Here comes Bain, 3 wide through the backstretch. Guys are going to go around.
Yep, and we've got another caution. We saw the 50 go around, I believe. That was going to be off the bumper of somebody. We'll have to go back and take a look, see exactly what happened there. Spurl out there saying Boehner screwed again. Well, I tell you what, look at where this 28's at. He was able to get a great launch off the high side and able to avoid the 50 going around. Let's go back with John Honeycutt and see what happened. Oh, wrong guy. There we go. Let's rewind that just a little bit. Very unfortunate for this high-tech securities Camaro. All right, let's ride along. You see Bain get that great launch off the high side. 50 had nowhere to go whatsoever. Looks like the 50 just got a little loose under throttle and got a little bit of contact from Cody Giles from behind. That sent him around. I don't think that 50 was going to be able to save that anyway, but no real damage so far from what I see on this number 50. He actually still looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good thing at least. It looks like all the damage that he has there, if he does have any, it's just been from earlier contact within the 28 on that first green and white checkered, but I think it's not going to affect him at all. If anything, it's going to push him back. A little bit upsetting, but hey, it's nothing that he can do about it. Obviously, racing happens. You can't fix it, but man, you can definitely make the best of it. Hopefully, Honey can find himself back up within top 5, top 3 when this one's all settled and the dust finally sets. But now at this point, you got the 17, 28, 41, 8, and 16, your top 5. 8 of Thomas Flitcroft, obviously, we saw he's on old tires. He's not going to have as great of a jump. But the 28 of Jordan Bain, pole sitter, he's looking to take his first place position right back on the restart once these guys go ahead and double file up next time by.
Absolutely. James Holzer leading, Jordan Bain, Justin Mons, Tom Flitcroft, Cody Giles. That's going to be your top 5. 6th through 10th, Tristan Health, Maxwell Castro, Cody Kalinka, Brendan Book, good rebound for him in that number 5 car. Sam Morris going to round out your top 10. John Honeycutt lost 2 spots to where he initially started, but outside of the top 5 where he'd been for at least the last 50, 60 laps, he's not going to be too happy about what happened, but he can be happy that his car is not totaled and sitting on pit road. Pace car going to come around one more time. This should be the last green white checker. This should be the last one. So from here on out, checkers or wreckers, either bring me the wheel or come on home on the back of a wrecker. We'll have to see.
Yeah, you're 100% right on this. This is the last shot. This is last chance, last move you can make. And looking at that 17, you notice he was starting on the inside a ton. But then he must have saw how well that 28 was able to take off and said, hey, you know what? I want that outside lane. I want that runoff. I want that high side when we come green, especially on the tires that we are given a little bit warmed up, but not too much, especially after the caution sort of rolling around. But we'll have to see what this 17 can do. 17-28, two of the fastest cars in the league, about to duel it out with a green-white checker getting ready to hit.
More than a cape out there saying, will someone use the bumper to get that W? Swat says, I think so. We'll have to find out. Here we go. Holzer with a great start. 8 car right behind him. 28 on the fresher tires. Should be able to throw it into the corner and get on by the 8 at some point. Bain overshoots the turn. Here comes the 41 of Justin Mons. 28's going to get a great launch. Might be able to pass the 8 on the high side. Mons and the 28 going to take it side by side. 3 wide for P number 2 right now. Bain still up high, up in that sticky stuff. Justin Mons down low. 8 car Tom Flitcroft. He's going to spin out. Jordan Bain's going to be able to take 2, and that should be it.
That's going to be it. And James Holzer, of course, being able to run the way he does. But once this is all done, I believe second place does belong to the 28 of Jordan Bain. And third belongs to the 41 of Justin Mons. Mr. Where did he come from? Again, one of those guys that we don't really talk about a ton in the race, but loves to find himself up there at the end. Great run for the 41 of Justin Mons, being able to grab a top 3 tonight.
Yep, just waiting for final word. Yep, there's the checkers. 17 has just been told. That is it. So James Holzer, this is going to be win number 5. Bain's going to be able to secure second spot, and Justin Mons in that number 41 is going to be able to secure third. Cody Giles in 4th, and Tristan Helf back there in 5th. Let's see if we can't get a quick look at what happened with Tom Flitcroft real quick. 3 wide, Tom on the bottom, the 41 in the middle. There comes the 16 of Cody. They were going to try 4 wide. Didn't work, and yet again the 50 gets some damage, but very, very unfortunate. Let's go ahead and bring it back live with James Holzer and watch this man burn it down. He's earned it yet again.
Ain't that the truth? The amount of stuff he's been able to do within the weeks that we've seen already. 5 for 7. I'm not very good at math, but I think 5 is greater than 2 in my book. So, very good run for him once again. He comes out and dominates every week, and it's just no disappointment whenever he hits the track.
Rock NASCAR out there in chat, as always. The man, the myth, the legend says, "Congrats, Holzer." Holzer, he ran in the FilterTime Xfinity series on console, on Xbox. Went under the gamer tag of Big John PA. Here, of course, on iRacing, everybody goes by their name. And he has just been a force to be reckoned with. I was actually talking to HD Motorsports, Nicholas Broman, earlier today, and he just said Holzer he's just bad fast and very good everywhere he goes. And for someone to get that kind of a compliment from HD when he's very good himself, that's saying something. In fact, I think Holzer actually beat HD and a bunch of his primetime buddies last night in a race in a long green flag run, almost like what we saw here. Holzer trying to burn him down with a Polish victory lap all the way around the Magic Mile. And just as I say that, boom goes the engine. Why not?
It's a great fitting to the race we had, right?
Absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break, get our top 3 here in the booth. Byron, if you want to start getting the invites out, we'll be right back, ladies and gents. Keep it right here for our top 3. All right, guys, we are back. As you see on the screen, be fresh, be generous, kind, strong, good, courageous, aware, and patient when we're talking about Be Water, all part of Be Water, Be You. And, of course, we'll talk about a little bit about our FilterTime partnership or sponsorship as well. But up in the booth right now, we got driver 41, Justin Mons. Justin, I kind of got on your car a few times throughout the race talking about the various paint schemes that you've run. Here you grabbed yourself a P3. That was a hard-fought battle. You had the 16 under you. You had the 8 right there with you. You had Boehner. You had the 50. That last green-white checker was really going to make or break the top 3. Congratulations on this run. Did this race go as you expected, or did you expect a little bit more of a calamitous race like we saw at Martinsville?
Well, let's start at the beginning. I barely missed my Q run by 10 feet.
Oh.
And and I had to start at the back. I would have started like P3, P4 at the worst, based on the time I was running. And yeah, so I had to start at the back with Holzer and them, and we made a show of it. We had fun getting through the field. Averaged out about P5 once I got there. The tires started falling off, but good to see green flag pit stops.
Yeah.
That was nice. Long runs. I am not a short run guy. I can't drive these damn cars for short runs. But give me a long run and I'll burn them up. And I got exactly what I needed tonight. But at the end, I had to do the short run stuff with the late race cautions. I was in good position. P3 is where you want to be for the popcorn position.
Yep.
And I was able to hold on to it. I was impressed with Flitty holding on to his position with the old tires like that. I told him at the end of the race that I was impressed because I didn't think he was going to have a chance in hell. But he impressed me holding on to it. And, but anyway, going into 3 and 4 on that last lap, when I went 3 wide with Bain and Flitty, I heard him downshift under me, and I was just preparing to get doored. I was like, here it goes. And I was as tight as I could be to the left side of Bain. And he said we made contact, and I was like, dude, there was no room left.
Yeah.
But Flitty, I wish he would have been able to finish it under green without spinning, because he definitely had a good car tonight. Bain, good car. Holzer, good car as always. My buddy Fluffy, good car. It was fun racing against all those guys collectively, all freaking race. And I finally got a good finish to show for it. And then, like you were mentioning earlier about the paint schemes and stuff, I usually run my Gamer Advantage. Excuse me. I usually run my Gamer Advantage colors. I'm an official partner with them. By the way, use code Justin Munns for 10% off your orders there. But tonight was a special one. I recently started a podcast with my brother and my cousin covering adult things to do at Walt Disney World. I'm an annual pass holder down there. I love Disney. Love going down there. Called Off the Monorails Podcast. It's on all major platforms. Also www.offthemonorails.com if you want to check it out. We're 5 episodes deep, I believe now. Next episode is uploading on Friday. So wanted to showcase the podcast tonight and try and show some love and hopefully get some more followers and content for that.
Well, man, definitely going to be a great night for you in the points. We'll wait and see what the overall update looks like when it's all said and done, and the laps and most laps led and all that is tallied. Congratulations on this P3. Definitely good job with the shout outs. I'll actually go on over and look for that podcast, just like the one for Jaden Gimbel. But man, congratulations one more time, sir.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks to all my Dark Horse teammates as well.
There you go. All right, Byron, we've got this other B driver, Jordan Bain, driver of the number 28 B Water Mustang. Man, I'm sure he's got a lot to say about this race. You got him.
Yeah, Mr. Bain, man, what a race you had tonight in that B Water 28 Ford Mustang. I'm sure it was a little bit chaotic towards the end, but man, what a great run. We saw you get pole at the beginning of the race. sort of fell back a little bit towards mid race and then just shot your way back up towards the end of the race. Walk us through that sort of roller coaster race that you had tonight.
Yeah, I didn't really know what I was doing, to be honest. And still got a lot to learn here. But I felt like we had either a second or third fastest car. It was fun racing with Tom all race. Seemed like he probably couldn't quite get to me because of dirty air or whatever, but he and I raced kind of around the same pace just about the entire race. So that was cool. However, we ended up with the caution there. That sucked. I was like, man, I'm gonna end up losing some spots or getting wrecked here or something. So I'm just thankful to bring it home where I ran, which was second basically the whole race. So congrats to Holzer. Yeah, I mean he's tough to beat, man. He's tough to beat on tracks that I've raced before, and yeah, I mean he was spanking the pants off me and everyone else. So excited to go back and watch kind of what he was doing, see if I can learn some stuff for the next time I come here.
And speaking of learning, we chatted with you when you got pole at the beginning of this race, said you didn't really know much about New Hampshire. Now, after this 130, 140 laps you've ran, you feel like you've learned more about the track and its specific grooves. After the race, you still sort of jumped at, okay, this is not quite expected, not what I really thought it was.
No, I learned a lot. Yeah, I mean, we got some long green runs in, and I feel like I always learn a lot. I got to run kind of behind James, get passed by him, and try to run his pace, see the lines he was running. I have a feeling maybe there's some downshifting that is an art here as well. So I didn't downshift at all, and just kind of try to take care of my stuff, try to just be clean, have as good a pace as I can, and I'll go back and look at the lap chart and look at how Holzer was running and hopefully learn some more too.
Well, man, impressive run you had tonight, Bane. Before we let you go, though, you got anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, all the folks at Water, Green Concepts, Day Beverage. These guys have been awesome. It's always fun to get out here and race and run those colors. Had the blue scheme out. Appreciate you guys broadcasting, Dohar, Holter, Book, all the admins who put this on. Tough track. Had a lot of cautions, but it's always fun to come out here and like I said, I learn a lot racing with these guys, and they're a fun group to race with. So appreciate everyone here. Appreciate you guys. With that, you can talk to our winner and ask him any secrets. I'll stand by and listen carefully.
Banner, one thing when you go back and you watch the replay, pay attention to the apron. That's all I'll tell you.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
That was mostly used. But speaking of apron, speaking of fast, I think you've got a 5 for 7 driver here that has once again picked up another very impressive win tonight.
Absolutely. Big John, PA from old Xbox days, otherwise known as James Holzer, in that Raise Energy number 17 Camaro. James Holzer, you're here right in the same stool you were at the week before and the week before that. Pretty much if it hasn't been a super speedway or a road course, we've been talking to you. Congratulations on yet another win, man. Dominant performance. Obviously led the most laps. Walk us through your race, and did those final 3 green white checker attempts, did they rattle you at all?
Yeah, a little bit, because you just never know what can happen in those, and there's a lot of different lines you can run, and there's a lot more aggression that could be had on the short run. You kind of had to really back the pace off if you wanted to be good on the long run, just because the car got so tight through the center. So you just had to really back up the corner and trail brake and let it roll through. But it was really impressive long run pace we had, and even after making some aggressive moves, I was a little concerned about how it was going to pan out, but it worked out, and we were kind of just learning some stuff as we went. Got a little bit of practice in this afternoon, made a practice session because Tom wanted to get some laps down, and he had a great run. Just sucks for him that he kind of got screwed on the last caution. Well, the last caution before the green white checkered started, and I was like about 500 feet from taking the white flag, and he had no tires left, so he unfortunately had no option. There was some hungry hippos behind him, and it's about a 2-second fall off. So he did about all he could do there, and he did a good job on his last restarts. But yeah, to answer your question, I guess, yeah, I was a little bit worried on the restarts, but got through the gears good and did what we had to do.
Yeah, talking about the A car of Tom Flitcroft, Tom Flitty, staying out. They say when you can't beat the leader, you do the opposite of what he does. So you and Boehner came on down pit road. He stayed out, but he was the only one that stayed out. I think if he might have had a little bit of a buffer, a little bit of a gap between you and him, might have been a little bit more of a challenge. But at the same time, you would have had a whole host of cars on 4 brand new Eagle Feelgoods trying to come up through the lap. We might have seen the same amount of cautions. It's kind of, we don't know what it would have been like, but still, the rule of NASCAR is you do what the leader doesn't do. So he stayed out, and as Justin said, he applauds him for being able to hold on as long as he did. Yeah, he lost a few spots, but it was ultimately a spin that ended up relegating him to the back of the field. And yeah, Byron and I, we talked about the practice session that you put up earlier, and you put it up with the same exact track conditions as what what y'all raced under tonight. Do those early track tests or early practice races, do they help you prepare for the night's race?
Typically don't prepare for them. Tyler, I just like to put them up to help everybody out, and just had some time today since I'm off on Wednesdays, so I figured, something to do, and it did definitely help out because I didn't run any laps during the officials when the Xfinity car was here. I was running just the trucks and open, but yeah, I definitely think it did help, but I try to make those settings the same on purpose so that way everybody isn't blindsided, and because we're not running open sets and doing all this crazy stuff. So I just try to make it as black and white as possible for all the drivers, so that way everybody that practices and puts the time in is as prepared as possible for the exact conditions they're going to be in. It won't rubber up as much, obviously, because there's typically not as many cars because the practices don't fill up entirely, but yeah, it does help me out, I guess, in a little ways if I run it. But yeah.
Well, there you go, man. This is going to give you another big old pad in the points. Any quick shout-outs for you, Holzer?
Yeah, absolutely. Got to thank you guys up in the booth always for a great broadcast. It's awesome to go back and rewatch, and everybody I know that watches it enjoys it. Just got to thank Raise Energy for being the primary sponsor on this car. Go check them out. Got to thank JP Designs for being my primary sponsor for most of my other cars, but secondary sponsor on this car and my paint scheme designer. Go check him out on Facebook, JP Designs. Scheme starting at just $5. Just got to thank everybody else that's typically on the car. Some of the sponsors aren't on here. Laurel Auto Group, Butt Kicker, Next Level Motorsports, and got to thank also recent partnership with Ryco Motorsports. We're going to be making a Road to Pro run here coming up in the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be good, and looking forward to the rest of the season, what we can do next week at Texas. It's going to be loose. It's going to be about saving that rear tire, and I can't wait. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be the best mile-and-a-half race all year.
Well, if it's a mile and a half, it's probably going to have the name of Holzer somewhere in the top 3 when it's all said and done. And talking about Raise Energy, I'm actually enjoying an Apollo still right now. Might be a little late for a Raise, but you know what? The race alone had me amped up. I still have half a can. As a fellow ambassador and insider, congratulations one more time, Holzer.
Thank you, Pete. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Byron, 130 laps plus now with the green-white checkers is in the books. Talking about Texas Motor Speedway next week. Looking forward to working with you again one more time. But we got to thank our sponsors, Old B Water, and of course, Blake Koch and Dale Jr. for the FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series. And as I mentioned, B Water. Buddy, great to work with you one more time. Until next week, yeah?
Of course, man. Of course. It's always a blast being up here and enjoying this and watching it from down below. It's always fun to see how these guys sort of plan an attack of these tracks, and I can't wait to see Texas no different. Can't wait to see how these guys are going to attack that track as well.
All right, again, big thank you to everybody that was out there in chat for the follows. Hot Rod Lowboy, 1977. Jacob NASCAR, lucky we are, Lock on Stratus, Atlanta Racing for the 10-plus raid. Eiler, 1 for the follow. Weeks for the biddies, as well as White Walker Old Swats. Definitely appreciate all y'all that came out, hung out, chatted up, kept us company. We will see you again soon. I'll actually be with the one and only Expert Racing tomorrow night for the Turn Down for What Thursday Night Thunder series. Make sure you go on over to XR Network on Twitch. Give them a follow. I'll see y'all there. Until then, y'all take care of yourself.